I won't be saying much then. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, go to sleep, motherfucker. A common mecha Trojan. Hello and welcome to my educational video about war gear. This has got to be one of the most controversial things that pretty much is vastly about your luck. If you're not lucky and you don't get the right pieces, then you probably take the rest of your life to make this. The first thing you really need to do before you start making any war gear is look at the game and go, how much do I really want to spend? And by that I mean, if you're building free-to-play gear, then you might as well just quit, to be honest. Best free-to-play gear, 100% free. You can buy the Indulgent Visage to gold. That's pretty easy. Or the Blood-Soaked Helm. I believe it's called Blood-Soaked Helm. Jesus, I don't remember this free to helm. Yeah, blood-stained helm. Cavalry attack, cavalry defense, cavalry HP. Pretty good all-round cavalry attack. The rest are not free to play. For your chest piece, free to play. There's only one choice. You could go for a Winter Parker actually, 15%, but it's not free unless you get extremely lucky. The only real 100% free to play would be your Armor of the Abyss for the army attack, 5%, and cavalry HP, and the infantry defense is awesome, but the army attack, 5%, that's amazing for free to play. Boots, pretty much not a lot. The Winter Stompers are reasonable for 7% attack. Ranged defense is pretty much useless. Generally you don't attack in ranged, so it doesn't do much. Army defense is pretty much crap as well. But the honeycomb chaps, they're good. Cavalry attack, ranged defense. 12%, 12%, they're pretty good. Main hand, there's two choices. From what I see from people, you got your Fiery Tomahawk for your cav infantry ranged. A lot of people have said the Venom Stinger for infantry ranged. Or you could go the Dragon's Bite for infantry attack and army HP. They're all pretty decent, but I highly recommend the Fiery Tomahawk. Offhand, there's pretty much only one choice. That's the Lunar Scimitar. Ranged attack and army HP is just amazing. If you wanted to go for a bit extra attack, the Noah's Cube, but you're losing so much army HP that it's just probably not worth it. The Frostwing Shield, which a lot of people use, is 8.5% army HP and 12.5% army defense. The army defense stat is pretty much useless, so this 11.5 actually nullifies that one and gives you ranged attack. It's so much better. So if you're using a Frostwing Shield, just like delete it and build yourself a Lunar Scimitar. For accessories, there's only one choice for 100% free to play, and that is your Lost Island Relic. That's it. That's all your choice. Which is pretty actually trash, to be honest. So I recommend in this game, if you're going to build gear, you want to go 2 troop types or 1, never 3. So whenever you're looking for your gear, you want 2 troop types. Either ranged cav, ranged infantry, or infantry cav. Now infantry cav is probably one of the most expensive ones. to get good. Infantry range is pretty expensive. The cheap one to go is cav ranged, but still pretty expensive. Semi-pay to play, you want to probably go either the Wyram Cornet for your headpiece, or the Ancient Hat is still pretty good. Pretty good stats on the Ancient Hat. Chest piece, there is like no good semi-paid. You could get a Deathly Mantle for your ranged attack, pretty decent. Pretty cheap to get too. But other than that, you start getting like Hardened Carapace is pretty good for your ranged cav. The infantry ranged is the Halo one, but that's pretty expensive and hard to get. Champion, no one's ever going to get, but Firewall Blade is second best down from Champion, if you can afford it. The Terra Shield is pretty much just straight up infantry if you have an infantry set, but if you don't have an infantry set, yeah, it's pretty much not needed. The Firewall Blade pretty much does way better than that. For boots, Gargantuan Belt's pretty good for cav. Your influence of your talons. The Inf Cav is the Storm Tesset. Legs of the Deceiver is a nice free-to-play one though, or semi-paid if you're lucky. Legs of the Deceiver, I really recommend that. I don't recommend anything else. That's basically it. Frostwing Sword is pretty much awesome all-rounder. Does everything. If you're going ranged heavy, the Skull Crusher is better, but so much more expensive to make. In the main hands, you have a lot of good choices. For your infantry, the Terra Lash. Cav only is the Horn. Range Cav is the Nectar, of course. The Distant Sword is good for infantry range, but it's really expensive to get. The Kraken Anchor for infantry cav, but I don't think you need it. It's better than the Frostwing Sword, but the Frostwing Sword will cost you so much less. And yeah, pretty much no good with that. But Winter Mitts is pretty easy to get gold. You get a pretty good drop rate from that. It's pretty much good all-rounder for any troop type because of the army HP is just valuable. Eternal Codex if you're going range cav. It's pretty amazing. Other than that, Dragon's Fist for your cav and your army HP is pretty decent, or the Dark Ages for the army attack if you're semi-paid. These are really cheap to make, they're really good and really awesome. Infantry ranged, you could go the Switchblade, but it's kind of average. And Call of the Deep you could do for infantry cav, but it doesn't really matter. It's still pretty expensive to make. For your accessories, this is so hard to try and give you what you want. Burning Scrolls are amazing all-rounder, pretty cheap to make. Dragon Eyes for your cav ranged. The Fear Drum and Terror Vials are extremely cheap with only one super rare item that you need. I'll answer that question in a second. I would stay away from the Wyram Seal, that's useless. Champion for your cav infantry. This is like the only good infantry cav piece, but you need to get a blue. So, yeah, kind of bad. Blight Rings are always good for the HP, but it's pretty range heavy. Your Brosal Cups are actually like pretty much best in slot. Infantry ranged is pretty much the strongest attack out currently, but you can never go wrong with 3 Burning Scrolls, or like a Fear Drum, Terravile, and a Blight Ring, just like mixed. But generally with the 2 troop types, you can go like 2 Fear Drums, 1 Terravile, or a Burning Scroll and a Fear Drum and a Fear Drum. It really depends on what your drops are. But if you can afford a Brosel Cups, I mean, they're amazing, but they're really expensive. I don't even have a purple one yet. But that's basically it. Overall, what's better, Codex or Mitts? Again, if you're going cav ranged, the Codex is better, but for defending, it's Mitts. Yama, do you think 3 Burning Scrolls are good for attacking or defending? They're good for both. 3 Burning Scrolls are amazing. Really cheap to make. Really fucking amazing set of gear. The 9% army attack, which is like an 18% across board. Burning Scrolls can be outdone by double troop type items like an Abrosal Cup, but generally like pretty cheap, pretty good, pretty amazing piece of gear. Like if I went to, say, if I was cav ranged and I had a Dragon Iris or a Burning Scroll, the Dragon Iris would be 1% each attack and 1% HP better. But then if I was to swap over to infantry, my Dragon Iris is useless, but my Burning Scroll is still good. So, like, Burning Scrolls are just valuable, especially for like semi-paid or free-to-play people, because you just don't have the money to keep buying all the accessories, and to be honest, you really need all the accessories. And who's the guy who told me about trading? Dragon Iris is still, I have army HP. Yes, it has army HP, but if you're going for an infantry attack, the Burning Scroll would be better. Either way, it's really hard to say. I have a couple of sets that I recommend, which I can just come in here and... So you're inf ranged. This is my inf range set. I mean, I could swap that out for like like this, as champion. Nobody's got the champion. Huh? It doesn't actually want to click it. This is pretty good infantry ranged. You could swap this out for the Skull Crusher. So like Skull Crusher or the Frostwing Sword's pretty good for your inf ranged. And cavalry's low, but the inf and the ranged is what you're looking for. 3 cups is better than this, but the extra HP and the army attack, yeah, it's pretty good. Inf ranged. Chest piece could be swapped out for the inf ranged one that I don't own, so I can't show you, but I have seen it. The Halo one. For cav and ranged, again, Frostwing. Frostwing's like pretty much all-round at best. But if you're going cav ranged, I recommend building this set. Oh, maybe I do have it. Ooh, Cav ranged. I tried a 424 in camp. It's weakest if you take it in range phalanx. How did you test it? So that's what I would make for my cav ranged. Putting the cav range really high and the infantry lower. Of course, if I added the jewels into the pieces of gear and upgraded it more, it would be much stronger. And if I had the Bumblebee chest piece, which apparently I don't have. I can't seem to find it. I'm just slightly confused. But either way, when you're making war gear, only go for 2 troop types. 2 types, you don't even worry about the third one. So, like, this is cavalry, cavalry ranged. This is pretty much an all-rounder. Cavalry range, ranged, and an all-rounder, which you could swap out for a much cheaper, lovely fear drum, which is cav. And then you put the jewels in there, 111, or even you could go 2 attack jewels and 1 attack defense jewel for the specific type that you're doing. I've tried 424 in a camp. It's weakest if you take it in range phalanx. I'd love to see the testing on this, and I really think it depends on what they're sending. A 424 is... I attacked in 424 in infantry phalanx because if the wall is up, 424 will be in infantry phalanx. And what was in the camp was a mix of 3 types in equal numbers. What's my line? My line is BH Necrolord. But as long as you're running the same stats, it's really hard to test that. But generally the go-to line is 325 now in a ranged foul. But either way, that's all I got to say about war gear. It's pretty much how much you want to spend, and to be honest, I don't recommend start building something unless you're going to get a purple. The war gear really goes really strong at gold, but you've got to spend a lot to get there. So that's basically it. Pretty much in this game, if you don't go gold, you're pretty much wasting your time and money. That's basically it. Thanks for tuning in about the war gear. Leave a comment down below, or send me an in-game message for any war gear checks. I have no problem doing gear checks. Pretty much everyone knows my name is Yamaraja space YT. There's a double space in there, and send me an in-game mail, and I'll check your war gear for you, even comment on it. But thanks for tuning in, and please send me mails for gear checks. But other than that, thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.